Dear students, I am Subha Bansiwal, Assistant Professor English, SPC Government College Bhim. Today I am going to explain the poem Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel was a Jewish poet. He was born in Bombay and he got his education in Bombay and later in London. He is an eminent Indo-Anglian poet. He wrote on Indian themes. Um, in this poem, the Night of the Scorpion, has been extracted from his volume of poems, The Exact Name, which was published in 1965. In this poem, the poet expresses uh, the motherly affections for her children. Um, uh, the poet was a Jew, and in this poem, through this poem, he expresses the proverb which says, "God, God could not be everywhere, so He made God, so He made mother." Here the poet says, I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Here the poet says that the poet describes this poem in his own person, and he says that uh, one day when it was raining heavily, and it was raining continuously for 10 hours, uh, a scorpion uh, crawled in his house, and it crawled under a sack of rice, and uh, and in the darkness it stung his mother, um, at her toe, and in this way this scorpion, uh, this scorpion stung her mother at her toe, and uh, it relieved itself of its poison in her mother. Parting with his poison flesh of diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. The poet says that after inserting the poison of its tail, uh, this scorpion uh, ran out of this that dark room in the rain again. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. When the neighboring peasants came to know about her mother's being bitten by a scorpion, they came like swarms of flies, and they did whatever they could to relieve her mother of that pain, uh, and to relieve her mother's. These people, these peasants were superstitious, and they uh, recited the name of God 100 times to to paralyze the effect of scorpion. These peasants believed that with the with the each movement of the scorpion, the poison in his mother's body will also move. So they wished that this scorpion might not move. With candles and with lanterns throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-backed walls. And these peasants came to his house with candles and lanterns, and these candles and lanterns were throwing large shadows on the sun-backed uh, walls of his house. They searched for him, he was not found. They clicked their tongues. With every movement that the scorpion made, his poison moved in mother's blood, they said. And, and these superstitious peasants searched for their scorpion, but it could not be found. And they clicked their tongues in exclamation, and these people were superstitious, and they believed that with each movement of the scorpion, the uh, the poison in his mother's body will also move, and it will increase pain. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. May your suffering decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. And they wished that this scorpion may not move. And these peasants uh, believed in the superstitious faith. They believed that with the pain, with the pain which the poet's mother was suffering, will lead to the with this with the pain which his mother was suffering will lead to uh, they believed that they believed that uh, by suffering um, the pains, by suffering his mother will be relieved of the uh, sins which she had committed in her previous birth, and by uh, by experiencing this suffering and this pain, the misfortunes of her next birth will be reduced. May the sun of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pen. So these peasants believed that by experiencing this pain and suffering, the misfortunes of his mother's life will be reduced. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and of your spirit of ambition, they said. And these peasants believed that this suffering uh, uh, will lead to the purification of her body and her soul. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center, the peace of understanding on each face. Uh, these people sat all around. Uh, these people were sat on the floor around her mother, where her mother, his mother, was reading in pen, and the expression on these on the face of these peasants were of understanding, means they appearing as if they understand the situation. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. And in this way, more peasants came to their house, and with their candles and lanterns, and they searched the scorpion. And at night, mm, in that rainy day, more insects came to their house because of those candles and lanterns, and due to rainy season. And his mother suffered endless pain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat, and her mother kept on suffering the pain. Uh, she was breathing in pain and groaning on a mat. My father, skeptic rationalist, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. On the one hand, the on the other hand, his father used all the rational and scientific cure to relieve his mother of pain. He used powder, mixture, herb, hybrid, etc. He even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and put a match to it. And he also poured a little paraffin on the beaten toe of his mother, and burnt it uh, to burn the uh, stung of the scorpion. I was the flame feeding on my mother. I was the holy man uh, perform his incantation perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. In this way, the poet who was a child uh, saw the flame burning his mother's toe, and he saw a holy man who was reciting inca- some mantras, or he was in reciting incantation uh, and performing some rites to relieve his mother of pain. After 20 hours, it lost its sting, and in this way, his mother suffered this pain for 20 hours. And after the period of 20 long hours, um, she felt relief of this pain. The mother only said, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." These last three lines are the climax of the poem. In these lines, the poet expresses the motherly affection. In this, after being relieved of the pain of sting of the scorpion, his mother said, "Thank God the scorpion." She thanked God that the scorpion had bitten her, not her children, and in this way the scorpion spared her children. So she felt thankful to God. Uh, this poem has no rhyme scheme, and the whole poem written continuously. Only the last three lines written separately, and these three lines are the climax of the poem, which express the motherly affection. They In the poem we find superstitious beliefs of the peasants, which are contrasted with the rationalistic and scientific views of the poet's father. Uh, Thus, it is one of the most famous poem of Ezekiel. It is it expresses Indian culture. Uh, um, the poet was very closely um, acquainted of Indian ways of life. So he expresses the Indian situation very efficiently, and he presents the in motherly affection in the poem. The mother in this poem is a typical Indian mother who sacrifices everything for the well-being of her children. Thank you.